Thank you, Chair. Commissioner designate, dear colleague. I must say that as second Vice President of the European Parliament has been a great privilege for me to work with you in the EP Bureau in your capacity as first Vice President. So you are very much welcome here. My question is about Brexit. For sure, a lot of things are going to change immediately after the end of the transition period regarding financial services. Financial institutions based in the UK will lose their passporting rights, and from now on, their access to the European market will depend on equivalence decisions made unilaterally by the EU. So how do you assess the risks for financial stability arising from this major shift? And what can be done in this short period of time to reduce even more those risks?
Thank you, Pedro, and thank you for your kind comments about our work together in the Bureau. I have enjoyed that immensely. But to your point around Brexit, yes, we know that Brexit has happened, but what we're dealing with now is a move towards the end of the transition. What the Commission has done from the very start of the Brexit process, which dates to 2016, was to alert companies across all sectors, including the financial sector, that there would be change. We know that there is the discussions ongoing in a difficult atmosphere, I would have to say, about a future trade agreement, but that doesn't deal with financial services. So, in a practical way and in a very concrete way, the Commission has looked at where there might be worries around financial stability. We identified the CCPs, these clearinghouses, so we needed immediately to act, and this has been done. The Commission has decided to grant equivalence for UK-based CCPs for a time period of 18 months. But that won't be the end of it, because, as you rightly said, and as I put it, I think, in my speech, deal or no deal, there will be big changes. These are changes that arise from Brexit, which was not our decision. We respect that the UK have made that call to leave the European Union, but we have to deal with some of the consequences. So for the future, we need to try and understand how the United Kingdom plans to continue. Will they diverge significantly when it comes to financial regulation? In what direction? And we have submitted questions, and there's been some feedback with answers. It is very difficult to comprehend that what we have in the Union of 28 worked for everybody, and the City of London was an important part of Europe's financial infrastructure. We now move to a situation where the City of London will be in a third country, and we are using many of the services. I think the question for all of us is it right? Is it, if you like, financially prudent for us to rely on a third country for the location of vital services? In my view, we need to take a precautionary approach. I think we need to build up our own infrastructure, because, as I've mentioned, we do not know what the intention of the United Kingdom is, particularly on financial services, but we do know they plan to diverge. The Commission, in the work that I've seen, have worked hard on all of the various streams to make sure that whatever the sector is, that we will not take risks. And we certainly will not take risks with financial stability. I think it's also fair to say that we want a cooperative relationship with the United Kingdom. And I think that would be good for all of us. But at the end of the day, what I need to do, and the Commission collectively, is to make sure that we look after the interests of the European Union.
Thank you very much. You have a quick follow-up?
A real follow-up still on Brexit. Regulatory divergence with the UK is to be expected, probably a movement towards deregulation from the part of the UK. In your written question, you say that the assessment of equivalence now taking place should be done on a forward-looking basis. So my question would be, how important should be the risk of future regulatory divergence from the EU framework in the assessment of equivalence of UK-based institutions?
Thank you for that question. And I suppose in many ways this is like getting out a crystal ball and trying to see what will happen in the future. And unless and until we get clear answers from the United Kingdom about their intentions, whether they intend to deregulate or just to, if you like, to diverge slightly or significantly, then we have to be open as to how we respond. So it would be extremely difficult to grant equivalence without knowledge. And what we're trying to do at the moment, we've worked in one area that I've mentioned, but in other areas, trying to get from the authorities in the United Kingdom some idea of their vision for their financial services sector, so that if we need to do more equivalence, or if we so decide, we do it with knowledge of what they plan to do. I have to say, at the moment, we don't have that information.
Thank you very much. Now, Stephanie Young-Courtin,